Inspiring Uganda. I am Simon Mugisha, sitting in for my colleague Jordan Lokomwa, who usually does the program every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Now, today we are going to be talking culture and consolidating the gains and losses of culture over time here in Uganda. We all know Uganda is a country with diverse cultures, traditions, languages, foods, and very many things pertaining to culture. But where are we going? What has happened to it over time? Are we keeping our culture intact? Now, with me in studio is Mr. Wadada Davidson. He is a traditional beverages manager at Nile Brewers. Good evening, Davidson.
Good evening, Simon.
How are you today?
I'm okay.
Welcome to UBC.
Thank you, Simon.
Yes.
Good evening, viewers, and thank you for hosting me, Simon.
Pleasure. Yeah. So, before we engage, how has the day been today?
It's been a normal day. Of course, back in office at Nile Brewers, we work on time and we always try to do our best. So it's been such a fruitful day.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So now we are going to talk about cultures, traditions, and we know that culture goes beyond just languages, goes beyond just cultural names, associations, Banyankore, Baganda, Ateso. It is something broad. So in a broad perspective, before we dig in, how do you rate Uganda's current touch on culture? Is it still there, or there's something missing?
True to your word, Simon, culture actually defines who we are. It sort of, unpacks what we believe in, our practices, our norms. Yeah. So, and these are things that are coming from our, forefathers and mothers, and so we have them today, and we have to pass them on so that we maintain and preserve our identity. So, in relation to Uganda, as you said, compared to other East African countries, first of all, I must say that Uganda is a very rich country in terms of diversity, because of the many tribes that we have.
Yeah.
We are not a very big country, but we have so many tribes. So you can imagine if we do not have cultures that sort of define who we are and which actually aim at bringing us together as a nation,
Yes.
then we sort of find ourselves breaking apart even further. So I think that, yes, we have cultures that are being recognized in terms of tribal settings,
Yeah.
probably geographical locations.
Yes.
But what will remain is to be done is actually bringing this whole thing together and have a national culture, but without definitely losing our identity as tribal. Yes, our tribal identity should remain intact, but at the same time, as Ugandans, we must look at a national culture. So we should shape this, and then we shall end up with one whole big culture as a country. That's what I think.
Well, so enlighten us. What do you mean by a national culture? Because that is a very interesting theory.
Okay, so for example, let me talk about things like dances, for example. If we have different tribes having their different ways of performing their dances, now, what do we present to the rest of the world as a Ugandan dance? So I believe that by these tribes coming together and showcasing their different cultures, in the process, we will come up with one whole identified and acceptable culture, which we can present to the rest of the world. So in terms of dances. Then there are so many other aspects. So also we have our food.
Yes.
Yes. It is, every region probably has got its main food.
Yeah.
But what is the Ugandan food?
What is the Ugandan food?
Yes, so
put out on the market?
Exactly. So these are the things that we have to look at. And then even our behaviors, our youth, and the young ones. How do we, sort of have the ABC of our Ugandan culture, which we can now sort of impart into them, so that in future they grow up knowing these are the ideals that I must follow. So that when I'm out there, I'm a proud Ugandan. and someone can say, yo, that guy is a Ugandan, and I like the way he behaves. So we need to have all these things. Otherwise, if we leave ourselves in our small settings, then we will not probably have that national identity. Okay, therefore, the other countries within the region will actually overtake us. And we may find our youth, yes,
less cultures than we do.
Exactly. So we'll have our youth starting to behave like those countries.
Which shouldn't be the trend.
It should be the trend. We should lead because we have many tribes. That is an opportunity for us to get all those bits and put them together and then come up with something that is bigger than the rest of the countries. Some countries don't have many tribes. Some countries have 3, 4 tribes.
Yes.
We have almost 60 tribes. So we can do this.
Okay, but you see, speaking about embracing where we come from, and you've also spoken about youth. Youth are, they like to go with current trends. Maybe if someone watches a lot of music on TV and he sees the way Jamaicans speak, he will want to develop a Jamaican accent or an American accent, or maybe if he, dreams to live in France, may want to speak like a Frenchman. But then, if he's asked to speak or engage in the local dialect, maybe say in Rutoro, or in Ates, or in Luganda, or in Rufumbira, Runyankore, the person will not be able to hold even a conversation for, say, 10 minutes. In your opinion, do you think that is something that is good for our culture, really?
Simon, I don't think it is. Definitely that is very wrong. And I'll look at the youth who are watching UBC right now.
Yeah.
Look me to the eyes. I want you to love your country. I want you to love your culture. The first thing that you should learn is your local language, because that defines who you are. It takes away nothing from you to learn your language. Actually, it adds you value and it makes you who you are.
Yes.
It's good to learn all these international languages because we're in a global village.
Yeah, yes. Global village.
So it helps us to communicate internationally, it helps us to do business, but you must define who you are by learning your local languages. So first of all, learn if you are from Buganda, learn Luganda. If you are from Busoga, learn Lusoga. If you're from Vugisu, learn Lugisu. Also learn some regional languages like Swahili.
Yes.
You see, this can help you to do business because you're not only going, if you're ambitious as a youth, you want to sell to the bigger market. You can't sell if you can't communicate. So first, but you have to know your local language because that gives you a springboard to the next level.
The next level, yes.
So I think that the youth must adopt a culture of learning their languages, much as we study English, we study French, Germany, and so on. We should have our local languages as a basis of our cultural and traditional preservation.
All right, thank you very much for that insight. Now, we know that present-day trends, especially those associated to music, have inevitably eroded the trend of the old age kind of music that we used to listen to. Playing music with flutes or the local guitars,
yes,
the dungus,
yes,
the
drums,
African drums.
Yes.
Where are we going wrong? Because everyone is into music, but the music is not the Ugandan music, not that kind of music, that we used to dance back in the day.
Yes, so true, Simon, and that's the reason why Nairobi is, through Chibuku Extra, is trying to bring to life our cultural dance and music, so that Ugandans and the whole world can begin to appreciate how our rich traditional dances and cultures. These are things that are so priceless.
Yeah.
We need to have them to the world out there. And so many people will want to come to Uganda to just because they have watched an actually haraka dance, a Chiganda dance, or Soga dance. These are things that you can't find very, very common. But we're trying to bring this to life because, like you said, if our youth are swayed into Jamaican culture and start speaking in their language of Jamaican slang, then somehow there'll be a disconnect between our culture and how we are actually preserving ourselves and communicating to
the
the
preservation is lost.
So we lose our identity.
Yeah.
So I think, again, I go back to the youth. I think I need you to participate in these traditional cultural dances, because this is what is going to define our country with our richness in traditional dance and folk songs. It's going to be something that we sell to the world, and I know the government is promoting tourism.
Yes,
this is a platform. Yes, because when these tourists come to Uganda, these are the things that they want to see. What is Uganda? What do we have in Uganda? How do people dance in Uganda? How do they sing in Uganda? Do they have any music anywhere?
Yes.
So we are saying
we need to
yes,
prove to them.
Yes, we are. We are saying yes, there is. And truly, from that video here, that clip you've shown, and many others that you can find, which we are going to be displaying.
Yeah.
It shows you clearly that Uganda has got a very rich culture of traditional music, cultural dances, and what we have not done very well is to market it and sort of to put it out there
on the map.
On the map, so that everyone can see.
Okay.
So my appeal again is that everyone involved, and let me thank you, BC, because you've done a very good job ever since we started this project to bring this to life. Because now the whole country knows about it, and we want to continue doing this. UBC, thank you so much. And at Nile Breweries, we pledge to continue investing behind this, so that we find ourselves bringing this whole culture, traditions to life.
Okay, but let's probably have a brief background, because the viewers have been told that the dance competitions have been in the offing, not in the offing rather, but have been happening. This is the third season.
Yes.
The first season was mainly in central Uganda. Second season spread out, bringing in more cultures on board, more traditions. And then the 2017 edition has been much bigger. It has gone all the way to West Nile and Karamoja sub-region, Lango sub-region. How have you managed to make this happen and bring all these different stakeholders on board?
Sure, it has been a long journey, and it's ending. It's coming to climax on Friday. This Friday, 19th at National Theatre, where we're going to have the finals. And just like you said, we started in 2014, where we concentrated on Central region, but it was we're making a trial. We wanted to see, test and see, does it work? Yes. And then in 2015. We included the eastern part, which had Jinja and Bale, and we added also Masaka and Barara in the west.
Okay.
Then this year, 2016, we did not hold the same event, but 2017 we came back much bigger, because now we also included the northern region, which included Soroti, Lira, which is the Lang sub-region, and then the Acholi sub-region, and also we went to West Nile. So it became bigger in this year, and probably next
more
year,
diverse.
Next year it will probably become
maybe next
bigger.
year you might even bring in other countries too.
Yeah, who knows? with partners like UBC, we could actually end up doing something bigger.
Okay, but what's the essence of these dance competitions?
Chibuku is a traditional brew, which is made out of maize and sorghum. These are
almost like Malwa.
Yes, you can relate it to Mara. And in Teso you can relate it to Ajon. You can relate it to Kwete in some regions. You can relate it to Muramba in some parts of Western Uganda. So it is a modern traditional brew, because we're using the same ingredients that people use at home.
That's interesting. A modern traditional brew.
Yes, because instead of brewing it at home, we are now making it in a factory, in a plant that actually makes beer. So we use the same system of brewing as other beers. Okay. So it is for example, improved in quality. It can stay longer on the shelf, as opposed to our homebrew, which can only stay for 2-3 days, and it expires. This one stays longer on the market, and it is packaged in a returnable glass bottle. So the whole thing is that now this is our traditional brew, and we are sort of relating it to our traditional culture. Okay. So Chibuku Extra is sponsoring, is investing behind our culture, sort of to revive it, and we want our dances to be brought back on the map. We want the whole world to know what Uganda is made of in terms of culture and dances. So we're investing behind this, and when you look at the investment from the time the farmer benefits from the maize and sorghum, there's some sort of livelihood, yes.
The raw materials.
Because we buy that maize, and then we make this product. So we're sort of improving the livelihood of the farmer, and then also definitely at an industrial level, it creates jobs. Manufacturing jobs.
Market.
And then in the supply chain, in terms of distribution, you need drivers. Then you need people to sell it in the outlets. So we're sort of creating that chain, but linking it to our culture. So what we want to do is we're giving it back. As a company, we're giving it back to the communities.
Through this kind of competition.
This kind of thing. So this competition is to say, listen, we need also to improve. Like we have improved our traditional drink.
We need to improve
we also need to
our culture.
Exactly.
Yeah, but what is there to improve on what it basically is? It's not like if you dance taking the leg in this angle, it's not like you're going to dance now taking it at a different angle in a bit to improve it. What do you mean by improvement of the...
I'll give you a perspective. For example, when we are holding these competitions, we invite judges from institutions of higher learning. These are lecturers from universities who are specialists in music, dance, and drama, and performing arts. So a group will come from a community. We've selected it as the best group and bring it on stage.
Okay.
And then they will showcase what they have. But these judges will come out with commentaries and say, listen, yes, this group came on stage and they showed us how to dance, say a war dance in Acholi. But this ABC must improve because we didn't see this. So you go back and actually work on this so that the next time around you come to perform, you have a better message to send. Because the dance also is like, it's a communication. It's a form of communication.
Just a matter of dancing.
Not just a matter of coming and jumping around. You have to come with coordinated moves.
And tell a story,
tell a story through those moves. So in a way, over the years, from 2014, these groups have improved. And they're now good to watch. So therefore, by the time we unveil them to the rest of the region, and the whole world, because now it can go online and the whole world can watch.
Yes.
They should watch something that is culturally appealing, other than watching something that is disorganized.
Which is that uniform culture that you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. So
selling the brand.
So by us looking at a champion, okay, we are sort of saying, listen, this is the best of the best. Therefore, the other groups should try to be like them. So in that way, we sort of have improvement in all the regions that are participating in this competition. Okay. So we end up with the very best in terms of cultural dances.
Out of the best who are there also.
In the future, I want you, Simon, to take time off and every other Ugandan to say, I am going to watch our cultural dance because it's fun to watch.
It definitely
is so enriching. It sort of touches you. It touches you and makes you feel proud of your culture.
Okay.
So I would like us to reach that level, and that is what we are aiming at. Other than, like you said before, taking time off to watch some artists from another country.
Yeah, but okay, well, in as regards these dance competitions, they are all about grooming culture and also instilling tradition in the youth, because I think, of course, it's not all about dancing, but also utilizing the dance to make something out of it, maybe make a living. Yes. So have you probably followed up on some of these participants over time to see if they are reaping from their talent, their cultural or traditional talent?
Thank you very much, Simon. Yes, it's true. The groups that, for example, we started with in 2014, here just in Central Region. When it comes to 2017, you may find that that same group is coming actually to participate, but the people have changed.
They have improved.
No, they've changed. The people who, the members of the group have changed, although the name of the group
is the same.
Is the same.
So it has grown.
It has grown in that, how has it grown? It has now grown that the other members who started it off in 2014 have become professional, and they're being hired almost every other weekend to go and perform at cultural functions, at political functions, name it. Now you have young people coming in to occupy that space and now come to compete at this level. So those ones have become professional, and probably they have been identified by other professional groups and taken up as dancers, as singers, and all that kind of thing. So over time, we've actually made an impact in the lives of these people. Yeah. And I mean, the journalists can interview them, but it's true, like I'm saying, I've interacted with them, and they say they have actually benefited because this has given them a platform
to showcase
their skills. And in so doing, they're earning a living. And some of them are going places. And we have also given them an opportunity, like if you have a chance that needs support, always come back, because we have our group that coordinates, and we have
they give guidance.
Yeah, they give guidance, and they have a section that can counsel them, that can guide them on what to do to improve on their skills, and therefore probably make bigger careers out of it. So I'm looking in the next 3, 4, 5 years, you're going to see people coming out of these competitions and standing out on their own and doing something big, and that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you think it will be able to sell tourism as it will be able to sell to tourists, rather to appeal to tourists? I think, let me rephrase that question. In what way will the experience garnered from these competitions? Because by the time they go into the competitions, they know how to dance, they know how to do these different cultural dances and practices and the like. So how do you have any way that you also train or facilitate them or guide them on how to utilize their skills to boost tourism? Maybe say they set up at different tourist sites, and when tourists come, they have performances for them.
Okay, first of all, at this phase, we are looking at actually identifying them and bringing them to this platform.
To the light.
So that they are seen. And we know that once they are in the eyes of the whole public, there are so many sections of people who will be interested. We already have here established places like Ngele Troop and so on. And I see many others are coming up. So they have these groups that perform probably on specific days, and then people pay money to come and get entertained.
Okay.
But what we're doing right now is sort of to pick them out from that community and sort of give them that publicity through media like UBC and the other media houses, so that the public can see them and then they can make a life out of that. Okay. But as for us as a company going into making them sort of run a tourist potential
campaign
and so on, we will have to support them to work with existing structures, and probably we'll have to involve the ministry and all those. So we will have that for at some stage. But what we are trying is to trigger it off. We're trying to tell the whole country that, listen, here, look at this. You have not been, tapping into this. It's the time for you now to know that your country is rich in culture, it sort of gives you it gives both those individuals who are participating and the whole community that kind of feeling that we can explore this further, and also the government.
And reap big from
probably
it.
To your point, I appeal to the government to also probably take on from here, and sort of create these tourist centers regionally, and then these groups can be showcasing.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, that especially like places which are frequented by tourists. As I said, I believe tourists, when they come to a country, they want to see what that country is made of in terms of culture.
What they see in the pictures is now what they
what
want to see
in
physically.
reality. And they're willing to pay for this. And therefore that becomes income for those individuals and also the country at large. So the government should also come in as a partner and probably help and make this bigger. But as for now, we are triggering it off and we're showing you that this really works.
Okay.
And it's beautiful.
Okay, maybe we shall have a quick break before we summarize the program. But then I just want to ask you something quick. You know, the president has always emphasized on, he says we need to have achieved middle income status by the year 2020. That's in about 3 years. And he emphasizes on different sectors of the economy that can help boost, you know, household income. That is agriculture. He has also loaded infrastructure development. But with the fact that many youth are graduating from university and the job market, the white-collar job market, isn't as readily available, and some are a bit reluctant to engage in activities like maybe, say, agriculture, their mindset. How can they utilize now tradition to boost household incomes and make it?
Yes, Simon, that's a very, very good question. And yes, we've already, as a company, I think we've started on this. Like I mentioned earlier, by us, you know, through our innovation, having this brand now properly packaged in a modern returnable glass bottle.
Okay.
By the way, it is
speaking on tradition.
Yes, it's a traditional brew, but in a returnable glass bottle, like any other beer. So please don't buy Chibuku Extra in any other pack. As for now, it is in a returnable glass bottle. There might be others which could resemble that, but for quality purposes, please emphasize that it's in the returnable glass bottle. So by buying the maize from the farmer and the sorghum, we sort of already supporting the farmers.
Yes, as you earlier mentioned.
Exactly.
Yes.
So sort of farming as that sector
is catered for.
Is catered for, and so the more we grow with this brand, the more the farmer is going to have ready market for his produce.
Okay.
Then for the youth, the Nile Breweries as a company, it is a fair employer. It does not use backdoor. It is straightforward. You apply online. So if there's an opportunity,
it comes
as a result of this brand Chibuku Extra, then you will be given that opportunity fair and squarely.
Okay, yeah, though what I actually meant is using the potential and skill that they probably achieve from this kind of dance competitions when they come out. How can they utilize it to make a living?
So first of all, those brothers and sisters and the young ones that are finishing university and you're looking for jobs, I urge you to become innovative and entrepreneur and immerse yourself in this. For example, some of these youth who participate in these dances, they may not be as qualified as you who is lucky to have finished university. So once you join them, you probably come with something more superior in terms of management.
So
probably you can become their manager and then you see run their program and see that it's productive and sort of manage their time, manage the whole process of them getting work deals, sort of to go and present at functions and all that kind of thing. The other one is sort of to be able to utilize the opportunities that will come in terms of as they're dancing, there are those people who come out with extra skills as opposed to those who are just dancing the general dance.
Yeah.
So those extra skills can be
looking
spotted.
out for the
Yes,
talent.
it can be spotted by someone who has got that knowledge at that level of the university. Then, I mean, in terms of farming, going back, I'm sorry, I was swinging you back to farming. The youth should not be scared of going into farming because they add value to this. They come out with skills. If you're a youth, you finished university, you've done agriculture, you should go back and utilize
implement
that.
it.
Because as I have narrated this story, it is starting all from farming. It goes into the factory, but it is coming back into culture. So it rotates around there. So who we are is our culture. It's what we do, and our culture, our biggest population in Uganda depends on farming. Therefore, that is who we are.
It's the backbone,
it's
basically.
the backbone, basically. So manufacturing takes some other percentage, but the backbone is what? Is farming. So the youth must understand that. And like you said correctly, the white-collar jobs are limited. So the more we now make our culture more diverse and more presentable and you know, open it up, the more opportunities come. And as you said, when the tourists come and they are looking out to watch these dances and understand our culture, they come with forex, and therefore the country gains from that. So
for an exchange.
So it's a whole cycle, and we must, you know, appeal to our youth again.
It is something I think which they need to appreciate.
Yes, and they have to take it on from here.
Yeah. No wasting time.
No wasting time.
Action begins now.
Now.
Okay, well, we have about 4 minutes to wrap up the program. Let's now finalize with the dance competition. Of course, we've spoken much about the dance competitions. You've given us a highlight of what they're about and what they intend to achieve. So the 2017 edition started in February, and you went around the region, brought these different people, they competed, and 10 groups have made it to 11 groups have made it to the finals. Yes. So just give us a highlight on how the finals are going to go down this Friday and what the masses should expect.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to invite all Ugandans who are able to make it, those coming from the different regions, to come to National Theatre on 19th May, that is this Friday, and you watch this very amazing event.
Display.
Yes, of different cultures. Yeah, we're going to be able to watch traditional dances from West Nile to Acholi region, to Lango region, all the way to Teso, Mbale, then Soga, and Central up to Masaka. You know, all these cultures are going to be showcased on that day. So it's 11 groups, like you said, picked from 11 regions, and these are all champions of sorts. Oh. So they come here as regional champions.
Come as regional champions,
yes,
indeed.
They come with the might of championship. So they're coming here to tussle it out and become national champions. Okay. So it's on Friday that we are going to crown our national champion, Chibuku dance competition champion. And as I said, every culture wants to be the one on top. Guys in West Nile, when I was in Arua, they were telling us we are going to take this. But
the confidence,
yes. Then when you go to Acholi sub-region, they say, no, with our dance, there's no other tribe, no other region can beat us. And the guys in Central say, we are at home. You are not going to take this away from us. Yeah. So it's going to be competitive. And we basically went through a sieve. In every regional competition, we had 10 groups. And those 10 groups had actually participated at community level for them to make it. Because to arrive at 10 is not easy. You can't just pick at random.
Yes.
So there has to be mini competitions at community level so that the community feels that really the person they have sent is good.
Someone is good who will represent.
So we had 10, and then we had to get one champion in each region. Those are the champions who are now coming to National Theatre on Friday. And then we shall have, of course, some rewards. The main aim really is not to give, it's not the rewards.
Yeah, but
it's the platform.
It's like appreciating.
Yes, it's the platform that we've given these groups, like we've discussed, which is very important. And the country will be able to see these groups and understand you can actually write your story from there and say from West Nile all the way to the other parts of the country. This is how people dance. So we shall reward the champion with 3 million cash. We shall give and some musical instruments and costumes, of course.
Yeah,
then we shall also reward the first runners-up with 2 million cash and also with costumes and all that. And then the second runners-up with 1 million cash and the rest of the items. Of course, as I said, the other groups will also go back as winners.
Yeah, at least they made it to the
if you've come from Arua and you're not a champion, but you've been able to come on the stage and compete with the rest of the country, you're going back as a winner.
Yes, and you'll be applauded as a winner back home.
So what role do we, you, the media, and us play after this? Is that you, as the media, we need you to be carrying these images through to the country to see, and as a company, we will commit ourselves to continue, supporting this cultural growth in Uganda through Chibuku Extra as our main brand behind the culture, being our traditional brew, which is meant for you as a Ugandan. Okay. And by the way, just to chip in, this traditional brew, Chibuku Extra, has been made in such a way that it has preserved your cultural taste and preference.
So there's nothing
we've not altered anything
from home.
Yes, as I mentioned, it's maize and sorghum.
Okay.
So that speaks for itself. And I think when someone's making muramba or kwete, it's the same ingredient.
It's basically the same ingredient.
Yes, so all we've done is make it hygienic, to make it better, so that when you're consuming it, you're at least sure that it's coming from the #1 brewery in Uganda, which is Nile Brewers.
Though there are also #1 breweries back home.
Yes,
okay,
we respect them.
Right
we
now.
respect them.
Yes.
Those people who make the home brews. Yes.
Thanks a lot for your input, Davidson, and thank you for helping us pick a point on the essence of culture and how to preserve it with modern tradition, as you put it. And thanks for joining us in the EBC studios tonight.
Thank you so much, Simon.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure having you too.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for watching. I am Simon Mugisha. I've been interacting with Davidson Wadada, and we've been picking a point on how to boost culture in Uganda and maintain tradition and the different aspects of it. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep tuned. News is coming up next.